Welcome back to the Roundtable. I'm Oshrik Vox, and now that Steven Universe has wrapped its story up, everyone's going to be searching for the next big cartoon. And while I properly want to discuss the topic of what that show could be, I think a lot of people have already turned to the Owl House. Come on, visually, it's a blend between the 2010s Bean style and anime. There's already tons of lore and world building, the characters are already finding their footing, and one of my favorite aspects of the show comes in the minor details, with Easter eggs that connected to another beloved Disney property, Gravity Falls. We've already done a few videos on this, how Ida the Owl Lady is actually the ex-wife of Stan Pines, or Ida's wanted poster and Albert appearing in Lost Legends, and the interesting prospect of Bill Cipher existing within the Owl House. Now, my very first theory on these two shows being connected was actually dealing with Bill and how the Owl House could potentially use him as a character down the road. However, now that we're halfway through the first season, I'm starting to consider that Bill Cipher won't be making his cameo in the Owl House because he's already one of the lead characters, King. That this cute, cuddly demon, who claims to be the king of demons, or at least was regarded in that status, but now spends his days being coddled and treated like an infant. Something that we know bothers him. But does it bother him because of who he used to be in his past life? Well, let's look at the Easter eggs and clues, because I do believe there are some there. And by the end of this video, you'll wonder, why didn't I see it sooner? Post-production Kevin here. I just wanted to take a quick moment to say, hey, I know I do a lot of theory videos, and cartoon theories have really evolved over the years where they're kind of meant to stand as their own serious thing, and you better make sure you have no holes in them. I just want to let you guys know I'm not presenting this theory with the anticipation of the Owl House is going to get to this any moment now, or this is the big thing they're building up. It's just a fun cartoon theory. We're here to have fun, alright? Alright. Of course, spoiler warning. In case my wacky out of this world theory actually comes to fruition, and you don't want to know a single peep alongside general Owl House spoilers, please click off now. With all that said, let's dive in. Now, the best place to start would be to examine the personalities and behaviors of these two characters. Starting with Bill, and look, the dude's a fucking nut job. He's also pretty clever and cunning. With infinite knowledge and the ability to traverse the mindscape, it makes sense that he's able to get whatever he wants. But we also know that Bill is obnoxious. He loves playing everything for a joke, messing with people's heads, and loves being a show-off, especially when dangling the answer to a mystery over someone's head. He's an absolute agent of chaos, and while he always breaks the rules, he really only buckles down and gets serious whenever he's angered and unable to get his way. King, on the other hand, shares a lot of these traits, but is far from pure evil. He's a lot more rational than Bill, but that really isn't saying much. Hey again, post-production Kevin here. As I begin to describe King's own traits, let me just get the obvious first one out of the way. King isn't a narcissistic sociopath and actually has basic emotions. I just figured people would want that out of the way first before storming to the comments and saying, well, the first thing about King is that he isn't a monster. I mean, he is a demon, but you know what I mean. Anyways, back to the video. King is just as loud and obnoxious. He loves asserting dominance over others whenever possible. It doesn't even need to be a living thing. He can be mischievous and a jokester, much like a triangle we know. But his biggest problem is a lack of physical intimidation. King is essentially treated like a kid because of his size and demeanor. He's cute and tiny. How could you not want to give him a big ol' hug against his will? It's hard for anyone to see him as more than just, well, a cute little sidekick, which is obviously a far cry from Bill's status. However, King shares one trait that I just find to be too, in our face, and that is his voice, his laugh, his mannerisms.
Wait, name's Bill, but you can call me your new lord and master for all of eternity.
Greetings! Bow before your king of humans!
Whereas King lacks all the chaotic evil intentions, he still carries Bill's chaotic energy. Yeah, they're both voiced by Alex Hirsch, but Hirsch has range. Yeah, he pretty much gave King the exact same voice as Bill, the exact same laugh as Bill. Like seriously, let me put Bill's voice effect over King and tell me you just don't hear Cipher.
And if the rain doesn't get you, the snaggleback will. They wander the rains, feeding on boiled tourists.
But I get it. A voice actor using one of their voices for a different character isn't confirmation that they're the same person. However, I do have much more compelling evidence. As you're probably wondering, how could Bill even resurface as this weird Digimon cat demon? Well, I got one word for you. Reincarnation. Back in Weirdmageddon 3, in Bill Cipher's final moments, he calls upon the force of the Axolotl, a deity in the Gravity Falls universe whose power and authority surpasses even the likes of Time Baby, who exists in the time and space between time and space. His words, not mine. Bill's plea to the Axolotl being, "My time has come to burn. I invoke the ancient power that I may return." Later on in the Choose Your Own Adventure book, Gravity Falls, Dipper and Mabel and the Curse of the Time Pirate's Treasure, which features, in Alex Hirsch's own words, one big canon secret, Dipper and Mabel encounter the Axolotl, and when Dipper requests his knowledge for Bill Cipher, the Axolotl recites a poem, 60 degrees that comes in threes, watches from within birch trees, saw his own dimension burn, misses home and can't return, says he's happy, he's a liar, blame the arson for the fire. If he wants to shirk the blame, he'll have to invoke my name. One way to absolve his crime, a different form, a different time. This conveys that Bill actually does miss his home dimension, which he informs Sanford in Weirdmageddon 3 that he liberated by incinerating it to its last molecule. This seems to be Bill Cipher's biggest crime in the eyes of the Axolotl, and in order to seek redemption, he has to take a different form in a different period. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I think we know what that different form could be. Not to mention, Gravity Falls canonically took place in 2012. We don't really know when the Owl House takes place, but it could very well be in present day 2019-2020. Regardless, this could be the different time. Bill Cipher's new form being stripped of power, shrunk down to a tangible physical form that cannot be altered, putting Bill in the position where he gets a taste of his own medicine, where he's the one constantly picked on and underestimated. Also, Bill, King, 4-letter names. King may not have been the actual king of demons. After all, Luce's adventure in the first episode to recover his crown, only for it to be a fast food paper crown. I think his origin story was kind of BS. But it's BS because King may still have his Bill Cipher memories, but they're just reduced to more of feelings. He can feel that he used to have more power, that he used to lead the demons of the nightmare realm. And when it comes to Bill's infinite knowledge, King has extensive knowledge on demons, amassing his own private record of demons. It could very well be possible that this was influenced by King's limitless knowledge and his previous life as Bill, on top of irony in relation to Dipper Pines, whom we know dabbled in books himself. Essentially, Bill's cry towards the Axolotl was heard, but to atone for his sins, he was given a life without true power. A life where his mischievous tendencies and obnoxious behavior remained intact, but in lacking authority and power, he just comes across as childish, unable to be taken seriously. But he also could have been reincarnated with some good in him. Again, King's not a villain. This could be Bill's journey into a not so horrible person. New life, new identity, new start, with only feelings of the past. We're not really sure how old King is, or when he came into contact with Vita. Something that could come in handy should they actually ever want to break out this Disney multiverse card. And one last thing I want to mention, I feel as if Bipper and Sock Opera gave us a good example of how Bill Cipher would have been reincarnated as a human and how some of that could have translated to King. In Dipper's body, Bill was partial to trying food, but really went for the sugary consumption, much like King's love for food. And Bipper, due to Dipper's body having a lack of sleep, was easily fatigued and passed out during his confrontation with Mabel. I think it's also evident that Bill has so much energy that an actual body can't really handle it. And King is someone who's shown with an affinity for naps. He gets tuckered out pretty easily because, again, he has a lot of energy, but not much to back that energy up. Ultimately, could this adorable critter actually be the reincarnation of a triangular sociopath bent on universal domination? I'd like to believe so, but maybe that's because it's my only way of coping with the fact that Bill Cipher's voice is coming out of his character's mouth, but Gravity Falls will never return. But as always, these are just my thoughts, and I want to hear yours. What do you think? Could King be the reincarnation of Bill Cipher? Why or why not? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, or tweet your thoughts at Roundtable Vids. And for more of my own thoughts, you can find me at Fox. We're also on Instagram. If you enjoyed this video, please throw it a like and subscribe to the Roundtable for more great cartoon content. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. Fox signing out.